Right now at 5, President Trump weighs in on a Republican runoff in Texas and demands one Senate candidate drop out. James Talarico will face the winner, and he's preparing to deliver his victory speech after winning the Democratic primary. And is this the end of the road for Dallas City Hall? We could be hours away from council members taking a final vote. But let's start with a live look in Dallas, Fort Worth, Weatherford, and Denton. The clouds have been hanging around all day, and right now we're keeping an eye on some potential storms. I'm Chris Lawrence with Chief Meteorologist Pete Delkus. Anything on the radar yet?
Yeah, and this is great news. I mean, we have 2 thunderstorms out there right now. I mean, neither one are severe. Now, we do have a severe thunderstorm watch until 11 o'clock tonight. Okay. That's the entire metroplex in the heart of North Texas. So let me start with that. Here you go. These are the locations that are under that watch. Again, it's the entire metroplex and surrounding counties. And it goes all the way up into Oklahoma and then off into eastern Oklahoma. But we could see some hail with these thunderstorms. Again, it's March. This happens. We could see some hail that could be nickel, maybe up to quarter size or so, and then some 40, 50, maybe up to some 60-mile-an-hour winds. That's also why we have the WFA Weather Alert Day. We've had it in place throughout the week for right now, this evening, and then again on Friday, and then again on Saturday. The impact, it's going to be just what I described. It's on and off heavy rain over the next handful of days, some isolated thunderstorms, and that's what they'll be tonight. I don't expect widespread thunderstorms. I certainly don't expect widespread severe weather, but some storms that could produce some hail and also some gusty winds. So what do you need? This right here. You need to stay updated on the forecast. You may need to adjust your outdoor plans, and you definitely need to do this. You need to download WFA Plus to your TV. These are the 2 right now that we're watching. Here's one. There's a second one across North Texas. A pretty good large thunderstorm right now. It's not severe, but it does have a little bit of lightning with it around Wiley, Rockwall, and Heath. So there's Dallas County, Rockwall County, then maybe this northwestern side, just starting to pick up a little bit of rain right now, the northwestern side of Kaufman County. And then we have another one that's exiting parts of Tarrant County, far east side of Tarrant County, moving into the western side of Dallas County, around Duncanville, right around 161, just outside and just to the north of Cedar Hill. So there we go. Watch this. That's it. I wish the rain was more widespread, but there we are at 7 o'clock tonight. There you can see thunderstorms. They're not widespread, but they are scattered at 7 o'clock. There's 8 o'clock. There's 9 o'clock. There's 10 p.m. Here's 11 o'clock tonight. So we'll have some scattered my coverage tonight's 50%. It's not 100%, but 11 o'clock tonight, there we have some thunderstorms, and then it's all starting to fizzle out around 11-ish or later. There's midnight. Now watch overnight tonight. Sleep well, because tonight will be a calm night, and tomorrow we have a little bit of rain, but I have more thunderstorms in my forecast on Friday. I'll have that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday thunderstorm timeline coming up.
All right, you're now taking a look at our weather truck traveling from Dallas into Bishop Arch. You can see the wiper blades going by there as the rain is coming down. You can see a little bit of a sprinkle. We'll be keeping an eye out to see whether the storms have an impact on the evening rush, and you can track when they will move into your neighborhood, as well as use our live radar on our WFAA Plus app. Then at 8:30, Pete will share his updated forecast live. And now's the time to download WFAA Plus. If you haven't already, it is free on your TV. We'll hear from James Talarico tonight for the first time since he clinched the Democratic nomination. He defeated Representative Jasmine Crockett by nearly 150,000 votes and will now try to become the first Democrat in nearly 40 years to be elected senator from Texas. His speech starts at 7 o'clock in Austin, and we'll be broadcasting that live on WFAA Plus. It may be several months before Talarico knows his opponent. Incumbent Senator John Cornyn and Attorney General Ken Paxton are headed to a runoff in late May after neither Republican cleared 50%. President Trump has held off on endorsing a candidate up till now, but just posted on Truth Social, quote, "I will be making my endorsement soon and will be asking the candidate that I don't endorse to immediately drop out of the race." Here at home, we're tracking the fallout from a shocking upset in Arlington. State Representative Chris Turner just lost House District 101 after nearly 13 years. Brittany Costello just caught up with Turner to get an idea of what's next as the district prepares for new representation.
In Grand Prairie,
We can be in a position and just kind of do more of the same.
change is coming.
I feel the younger ones can have more ideas.
Exactly what Marcia Woki says she voted for. Junior Izanu.
I think if the Democratic Party wants to be competitive in 2026 and onward, we need that new generation of leaders.
In Tuesday's primary election, Izanu beat longtime incumbent Chris Turner as the Democrat serving House District 101 that covers southeast Tarrant County. Political analyst Bud Kennedy says it was a surprising loss for the 8-term representative.
I think he was just caught up by the tremendous turnout and the young vote and the progressive vote that saw him as an old business Democrat.
Perhaps the most disappointed is Representative Chris Turner.
We came out on the wrong end of the close race.
Izanu is not surprised. He says he's lived in the district his entire life. The Grand Prairie Mayor Pro Tem says he ran for change within the Democratic Party at just 26 years old. He says he's hoping to expand the party's reach.
We knocked over 13,000 doors, raised enough money to be competitive. We were outspent 10-1, but we knew what was necessary to be able to put up a formidable fight.
Representative Turner called to congratulate him Wednesday morning.
We used to live in this neighborhood. So.
Now he's reflecting on more than a decade's worth of work. The legislation he's helped pass and the improvements like new lighting at Fish Creek Park.
And help, people be able to use the trail.
That will shine long after he's gone.
I'm very, very proud of the work we've been able to do and very grateful to the voters for giving me the opportunity to represent them for so long.
In Tarrant County, I'm Brittany Costello.
Now that the results are finalized, our political team is joining experts from across the state to break down all that data with some very detailed analysis. You can watch After the Vote right after this newscast on WFAA+. It'll also be available on demand. Here's a live look inside council chambers where months of debate have led up to this moment and a vote on Dallas City Hall. Council members are preparing to vote right now on whether to stay in the iconic building or leave after nearly 50 years. A new report estimates Dallas might have to spend up to $1 billion to fix all the problems in the building and maintain it. Others say the city shouldn't give up on what they call a historic landmark. We have a crew monitoring that vote and will update you as soon as it comes down. Now to some new developments in Fort Worth ISD. The TEA just announced it plans to replace Superintendent Karen Molinar. She started before the state takeover, but has only been running the district for less than a year and a half. The Texas Education Agency stepped in after one school had 5 straight failing ratings. Commissioner Mike Morat says Molinar laid a solid foundation, but a new superintendent is needed given the scope of improvements on the way. Dr. Molinar just shared her message to parents earlier this afternoon.
Know that there's just thousands and thousands of employees who every day get up to serve you and your child. So please stay with Fort Worth and know that people love and care about your student every single day.
WFAA just sat down for an exclusive interview with Dr. Molinar, so expect to hear more of her reaction and what's next for Fort Worth ISD. That's coming up at 6, right after World News Tonight. Students are planning to hold a second vigil tonight at UT Austin to mourn the victims killed in a recent mass shooting. Savitha Shan was a student at UT. Ryder Harrington attended Texas Tech, and George Peterson was an aspiring MMA fighter. They were all killed early Sunday morning when a man opened fire at a bar on 6th Street. Police and the FBI are still investigating a motive. And this afternoon, we're getting a look at new video from the war in Iran. It shows a torpedo strike an Iranian warship in the Indian Ocean. It marks the first time a U.S. submarine sunk an enemy ship since 1945. Now the Pentagon says it's preparing to ramp up operations against Iran. Another 50,000 troops are being deployed to the mission, along with additional weapons.
More and larger waves are coming. We are just getting started. We are accelerating, not decelerating. More bombers and more fighters are arriving just today.
The chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Kane, says the U.S. and Israel have struck more than 2,000 targets so far. Iran's Red Crescent Society says more than 900 civilians have been killed, including dozens of girls in a missile strike on an elementary school. The Pentagon has now identified 4 of the 6 American service members who have died. Thousands of Americans remain stranded in the Middle East right now. The airspace over some countries like Lebanon and Jordan is closed, and there are limited flights from Abu Dhabi and Dubai. Airlines have canceled 20,000 flights in the past week alone, and the Trump administration is facing heavy criticism after the State Department initially urged stranded Americans to make their own way home. Now the State Department says it's, quote, actively securing military aircraft and charter flights for American citizens.